So the Elna Experience 560 has 100 stitches on it, and I will move over here and let you see. I like how they put the stitches on these neat little cards that just store inside the machine, and then the numbers you type in up here, they correspond to the corresponding stitch. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch to start. So that's 0, 0, which it's going to default to. That's the first 50 stitches. Here is the second set of 50 stitches. Multiple buttonhole stitches on this. I don't do a lot of buttonholes, but if you do that, you can definitely have the capability to do that, and it's going to come with a buttonhole foot. Here is how you change your stitch numbers, just by hitting these arrows. So I'm just going to go to one of the quick buttons here, the straight stitch. And here is where you can change the width and length of your stitch. So if my straight stitch, it automatically defaults at a 2.4. If I wanted to make my stitches a little longer, or I wanted to do a basting stitch and do a really long stitch, I can change the length of that stitch. If I hit that quick button again, it's going to go ahead and default back to the original setting. And it's also going to tell me what foot I should use for that stitch. So if I were going to say one of the decorative stitches, I can go here. Well, that's one of the zigzag or the zigzags. So if I wanted to go to one of the other decorative stitches, like number 66, it's going to tell me what foot to use, foot F. It will have set at the default width and length, but again, I can change those. And it shows me here that my foot is plugged in. I can actually unplug the foot. And so using this start stop button. And then I hit my scissor button to cut my thread. So it cuts the thread for me. I pull it out, and there is my stitching. Very even, very smooth. There's the back. Just as even. I like my straight stitch just a little bit longer than a 2.4. I might take that to a 2.6. That's just preference. In case I make a mistake, I don't have to pick out super tight stitches. Now this machine also has a speed adjustment. So there's a turtle and a hare. You can drive slow, or you can drive fast, or you can be somewhere in the middle. This is your needle up down button. So I'm gonna needle down. I'm actually gonna plug the foot back in. And that just plugs in on the side. And go back to using my foot, which is up here. And if I wanted to sew faster, my table bounces, so that's why I'm not sewing faster. But I can lock the seam there, hitting that button, so it's going to sew and lock that seam off. And then I can hit my scissor button, and this thread is already cut. And again, you can see how nice and smooth the stitching is. And there's the back side. So I showed you the start stop. This is your tension button. You never really need to mess with this. These machines come preset from the factory at about a 4 tension, unless you're going to be working with different types and different weights of fabric. Just for cotton fabric, you'll never need to adjust that. This up here is the presser foot pressure adjustment. So again, if you're working with different types of fabric, you can change the amount of pressure that the foot goes across the fabric with. This machine has a 5-piece feed dog system, which basically means that it feeds fabric through very well, and it sews at about almost 1,000 stitches per minute, just under 1,000 stitches per minute, which just means it has a lot of power. It can sew very fast if you want to. You can use the the needle pin that's attached, or it also comes with an additional one, so you can do 2 needle pins. It's very lightweight. It weighs about 13 pounds or so. Easy to wind a bobbin. That's all pretty self-explanatory with the pictures that are up here. There are arrows drawn on top of the machine that show you how to thread it and how to wind a bobbin. And it comes with this extension table that you see, which is really nice. Otherwise, if you take the extension table off, there is a piece, which I didn't bring with me, I don't have with me, but that fits here that you can also keep your accessories in. But you do have to take that off if you're going to put your extension table on. It comes with that. So hopefully that answers some of your questions about the Elna Experience 560.